Hello, my sewing friends. This is Friday Sews on Saturday.
Woohoo!
I'm Jen, and this is my sewing room, and this is Friday Sews, and that's when we all get together to talk about sewing, kind of like a modern day sewing circle. Click on the hashtag at the very top of the description box, and you'll find all kinds of sewers. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel before you do that, and that way you won't miss mine. Let's move into the sewing. Oh my gosh, I got so much sewing done this past week. I mean, seriously, so much. And I have the privilege of being able to do that. It was raining here, so I just wanted to come in here and create. And so I did. And I realized that not everybody can do that. Sometimes you have other commitments, or you work full time, or you take care of kids, or you lost your sojo. For whatever reason, not everybody has that privilege. And I realize that. And I am so, so grateful that for all the times I thought in my life, I cannot wait until I have unlimited time to sew. And I do now. And I'm so thankful for that. So man, did I get the sewing done this week. Let me start in and tell you about it. First up, I was going to make the Bardon dress. The Bardon dress is, I think it came from LB Textiles, I'm not sure. But it's a free pattern from Peppermint Magazine. And so I thought I would make that. I thought, oh yeah, breezy, wonderful summertime dress when, it's hot. Well, I pulled out some fabric and I thought, oh, wait, what if this doesn't fit? So I pulled out other fabrics. It was rayon, it was an orangey coral, and it was such bad fabric. It was a challis, but a very thin challis, and it just, no, it was not good fabric. So I got the bodice done and it didn't fit. And I thought, I have other patterns like this that do fit. Why do I need the pattern for the Bardon dress? Because if I'm using a different bodice, and really the skirt portions are just rectangles, so why would I do that? So I gave up. I don't often do that, but I gave up. I just thought, this is not worth continuing because it's garbage fabric and the bodice doesn't fit, so no. Now, I know a lot of people love that dress, so if you've made that dress and it fits great, then I am so happy for you, but it didn't work for me. Okay, so switch gears. The fabric that I had initially pulled out to make that dress, I thought, okay, I'm glad I didn't use that fabric. What do I want to use that fabric for? So I pulled out McCall's 8214. I had made this before and loved it. And in fact, I wear that dress all the time. So I made this one and oh my gosh, do I love this dress. The fabric is a lyocell blend from Joann's that I got, I don't know, a couple of years ago. And actually I'd already used some of that fabric to make a duster. And I tried the duster on with the dress and it looks great. Kind of that login look, kind of layers look. So I was really happy with that. And very happy that I did not use that fabric for the Bardon dress. So while I was finishing this up, I know I had the other dress on. I had the first dress that I made from this pattern. And I noticed that the neckline was starting to fray a little bit. And so I thought, well, I need to fix that. I decided that I would just take out the little bit that was fraying. And then I realized, no, you know what? I think the reason this is fraying is because the seam allowance is so tiny. And it's because I had sewn the bias tape on and then I had cut down the seam as you are supposed to do. So I went over to my scraps, and this is why you should always save your scraps if you have a substantial amount of fabric left over, because I did, and I made my own bias tape and I flipped it to the outside. So I have this beautiful line around the neckline. Then I went down and I restitched all around the tiers of the skirt. And I'm really glad I did that because I love that dress. I would wear it all the time if I could. Although maybe I could divide it between the new one that I made and that one. But anyway, so that took some time, but it was so worth it. And so, yeah, if you have something that you really love, repair it if you can, or reinforce it so that you don't have to repair it. So finished that up, and I immediately thought, I'm thinking easy breezy summer dresses, especially because I watched Stephanie Farrell Focus and she wanted easy breezy summer dresses. You know what? She inspires me. I'm going to put the link to her 20,000 subscriber video up here in the cards, and so go see her because she is a delight. She'll sit down on Fridays and she'll just talk. She's very chatty, and man, she will work the heck out of a pattern. She'll try it. If it doesn't fit, she'll tweak it. She'll do it again and again. You can learn a lot and be very inspired. So I always am. So she was making these little tank top dresses, you know, like a t-shirt dress, but with no sleeves. And I thought, I want to do that. So I pulled out Simplicity 85.95, which I had gotten a while ago, but I had never made, and I don't even know why. Went shopping in my stash, and I had this stripe, this 1-inch stripe that is kind of an aqua and white color, and I love it. I think it was a Walmart bundle, but it's kind of a lycra blend of, I don't know, something else, probably rayon, because it's got 4-way stretch. So I didn't really care for going horizontally with the stripes, and I didn't want to go vertically either. I don't know, I just didn't feel right for this dress. Oh, I made I should say this, I made UB. So I thought, well, maybe I could cut it on the bias. Can you cut a knit on the bias? Well, you can cut any other kind of fabric on the bias, so probably. And I don't know, maybe it'll stretch out of shape later, but because it was knit on this stripe, it was really easy to line it up. And I thought maybe because of the 4-way stretch, it would work. So cut it out, you know, things like that go together so quickly. For the binding, I cut it on the horizontal stripe, so it would be like little stripes. So I did that for the armholes and for the neck binding. And I love this dress so much. Oh my gosh, I think I may have to make 5 more. I'm sure it won't be that many, but I wore it to the beach. My husband and I, about once a month. I wish it were more often, but he works in the evenings. And so on the weekends, sometimes we can go to the beach and just walk. We don't get in the water, we just walk. So we did that, and the waves were splashing up and making my dress wet because I wore it. I had just finished it and I just wore it to the beach. And so I thought, oh man, this is probably too long. Well, the water made it stretch. I don't think I'm going to be getting the hem of my dress wet all the time. So I washed and dried it, obviously, and then I tried it on again and it's fine. The length is fine. So huge win. Love that dress. And I really do want to make more. So I need to go shopping in my stash and just see what else I've got. I don't know, make something else. Then I pulled out one of my project bags from that box over there where I've matched several patterns to fabric and just put them in a little project bag and thought, you know, I may change my mind. I don't know. I may go ahead and make these. Well, I pulled out one where I had gotten a microfiber sheet and it's got a border print on it, and it's a really cool print, very tropical. Anyway, so I had thought I will make New Look 6289. I did not hold out a whole lot of hope for this. I thought, me and New Look, I don't know. But you know what? They turned out amazing. I am so happy with these. They went together so quickly. And I tried them on as I went. I did not have 1-inch elastic, so I used 1.5, maybe 1 3/4. It's not 2-inch elastic, but I like that because it's a wide waistband. I put the belt loops on, and I did use the ties, so I guess I made view B. And they fit marvelously. And I love the width of the leg. A lot of times I don't. I want to narrow them, but you know, what can I say? They worked beautifully. So I realized I had nothing to wear with them. Of course I didn't. I do this all the time. It's like, well, I'll make this thing. It's usually a separate, and then I think, what am I gonna wear with that? So I decided I would make this. This is Butterick 6057. I had made this before out of rayon, and the thing about this is it's really long, really long. So again, went shopping in my stash and I found this suiting, and I thought, okay, I think it's polyester. I don't know where I got it. I think I got it at Joann's. And I had previously made a skirt with it. And I thought, well, will it drape? Well, it drapes okay. You know, it was fine. The only thing about this pattern that I will say is that it's the way that the ties are formed. You cut the front piece like the ties in, and then it's got this little curve at the very top of where you tie the ties together. That tiny curve gave me fits because I did what it said. You know, you stay stitch, you clip, and then you fold it under, but it's a narrow hem, and so it was a pain. But I just didn't care. I just fiddled with it until I got it. If I make this again, and I may well do that, I will probably bring it to a point and just do it that way. Or I will use bias tape to go around because that would be a lot easier. So I made this, but you can see this and me is not a good thing. I just feel like this washes me out, this color. It's such a bleh color. And although it matches really well with these pants because it was the only thing I could find in this color that would go with them, I thought, no, I really wish I had something in my stash that was this color. See how much better this looks? I wanted something neutral to try because I wanted the pants to be the star of the show, but this color is not working for me. I tried it with this brown top that I had gotten at Amazon. I wanted to take this apart and copy it, but it really didn't work either. It was just too dark. And the thing is, the pants need to be the star of the show. So it's either gonna have to be white or this aqua because this doesn't work on me. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. If I can zhuzh it up with maybe something, I put this on to zhuzh it up, you know, to wear it with something else that would be right next to my face. A scarf would be great, but I don't wear scarves. So I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. I don't know. I'd love to dye this fabric if I could. But it's a pretty slick polyester. I don't know what I'm gonna do. But I can tell you that I'm not convinced that this is a color that's good for me. I don't know, but you know, whatever. Move on. And then I decided I wanted to make Simplicity 4675, again, from a project bag. I did this in a blue and white seersucker that I found at Hobby Lobby a while ago. It is a thin seersucker, so I knew that I was gonna have to line it, and so I did. Here's that seersucker. And I like this. It's totally wearable, but there are things about it that bug me. First of all, I don't know why this happens. Probably because when I line something that's a bodice and a waistband, I generally don't do the thing where you sew the skirt to the bodice and then you turn under the edge of the lining and then you sew it in, like slip stitch it in or something like that. I just treat them like one fabric and, you know, sew them in and then serge. This particular lining, the way it behaved, it was batiste that I had in my stash. The way it behaved with this seersucker was such that it gave me fits on the zipper and it also gave me fits on the waistline. And the seersucker wants to kind of bag over top of where it's connected to the skirt. And the way it hangs, the front looks a little bit shorter than the back. Okay, I put some ribbon on. I probably should have used blue because, you know, it kind of blends into the dress and you kind of don't get that feeling of the contrast of the dress. I made view B, and the way that this looks is great because it's a print, and then they've got it in a green and white print, and then they've got green trim on it, and I love that. But it just didn't work. So because this is totally wearable, I will probably just donate it. And I say that because I could go in and tweak it. I could, but I don't want to. I don't want to work that hard. But I love this classic blue and white stripe. Back, you know, when I first got married, I made a Laura Ashley jacket and skirt from it. I loved that outfit. I made another Vogue dress from this. Very beautiful dress, loved it. I didn't keep it because I think it got too small for me. And it also had a front panel, it was like princess themed. And yeah, this pooch sticks out. It's not a pooch, but you know, my tummy sticks out. Tummy, that's such a nice word, isn't it? You know what? I would rather get quality seersucker and make something else. And I think I will probably do that because this is such a, well, I love it. I love this fabric. It's just such a classic, you know? So I just do not want to have to take apart that whole waistline seam and even it up with the skirt in the back, because that would mean taking the zipper out as well. I just don't want to mess with it. So this, I wouldn't call it a fail. I would call it a, did not live up to my standards. That's what I would call that. So those were all the things I got made. It was a busy week, wasn't it? So next up, I got my fabric for Know Me 2076, and I'm going to make a muslin of the bodice because I had someone tell me do that. And it's a good idea to do that. So I am going to make the bodice just to make sure that it fits, because that rayon is beautiful. The other thing that I'm going to do, my wonderful friend Michelle, I was with her last weekend, and she had some fabric that she was destashing, and this was some of it. This is a cotton lycra, I think, and it's got some stretch. I think, yeah, it's got 4-way stretch. So great fabric. She gave me 2 pieces of it. I think she made something from this and she just had this left over. So I pulled out McCall's 8085, which is a simple dress. I could do the bodice horizontal and then the skirt vertical. Such a simple dress. And I know that I could make view C and it would be really pretty. I wouldn't have to make it a maxi, so I am thinking about that. Okay, life. It rained. It rained a lot all week. You know, I would have to be looking at WeatherBug, which tells me lightning alerts. So I know if it's within 10 miles, I can't go to the pool and swim. So I didn't get much swimming in, but you know, it rained a lot. And actually we needed the rain because everybody's lawn was brown. So we've greened up. Today is my husband's birthday. And so I hope he can't hear me. I don't think he can, but I'm going to take him out to eat and also go on a sunset cruise. And there are fireworks happening tonight down where we're going to do that. So I'm so excited. This is going to be great and total surprise for him. So that'll be a fun birthday. So that's all of Friday Sews. That's all the sewing. And so if you're a person that checks out about now when I kind of move into a little bit of Jesus, thank you so much for watching. I'm so glad you're here, and I will see you next week. And take care. Have a great weekend. Do a lot of sewing if you can, and I will see you then. If you are a person that hangs out and hangs in there for a little bit of Jesus, today, I watched a kind of a devotional from John Ortberg that I watch him almost every day that I can. I always get something from what he says. And so it's like a little sermon, but it's only like 10, 15 minutes long. I always like that. And he focused on something that I thought was really important. And one of the little tidbits that he, like an example that he drew, was the rich young ruler. And you can find that in Mark 10:17 through 27. This is the story of a guy who comes to Jesus, and he says, well, he's wealthy. And he's known as the rich young ruler. I'm sure that's got to do with translations and words, but he's wealthy. Let's just leave it at that. He's wealthy. And he comes to Jesus and he says, what can I do to attain eternal life? And Jesus says, well, love God and love others. Have you kept the commandments? And he says, yeah, I've done that all my life. Am I good? Kind of. He says that. And Jesus said, well, then you only need to do one thing. And that's basically sell all that you have and give it all to the poor and then come and follow me. And this guy's like, really? Really? Or maybe he thought, forget it, I'm not doing that. Or maybe he thought, I can't do that. And here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, why? I don't know. And it doesn't really make it clear, at least to me, why he was so disappointed. But he was very disappointed in that answer. And what Ortberg did was compare that to the idea of only doing what's necessary to all or nothing. Whatever it takes. I'm going to do whatever it takes. He said we pay our taxes, but it's like, instead of going in and saying, how can we do this so that we eliminate our debt? He said, what we say to the government is, how much do you need? How little can I pay? Or, when you have to do something that you don't want to do and you just do the minimum, whatever is going to get you out of that situation, whatever is required. You don't really want to do it, so you think, whatever. Versus whatever it takes to change me. And I love that. And then he quotes Micah, which is my favorite scripture. Do justice, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God. Because that sums up whatever it takes to be yours, Jesus. That's what I want to do. And that's what I want to do. I always want to do that. So within that scripture are 3 things, but they encompass pretty much everything. It's like, whatever it takes, I will do whatever it takes. I don't care what's required. I will go above and beyond. I will do whatever it takes to serve you, to love you, to make my life all about you. So that really struck me today. I thought I would share that with you. So I will leave it there. Thank you so much for watching and hanging in here with me to the end of Friday Sews. And you know how much I value your comments and your opinions about everything. So I'll leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you so much. And I will see you next time.